this is Chris the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So this will be a rematch. Mike Mollo versus Krzysztof Zimnoch. Now, since their last fight, I've seen Mollo fight Andre Radenko. He suffered a nasty cut in that fight over his, I believe it was right eye. That fight's on YouTube. You can check that fight out. And then I've seen Krzysztof Zimnoch have 2 fights since his fight with Mollo, that first fight they had. He went on, he fought Konstantin Erich, and he fought Marcin Rakowski. Rakowski just lost to Carlos Takam, got knocked out brutally in that fight. But Rakowski and Zimnoch fought a good fight. I think it was a split. I think he won by a split decision. Zimnoch did. I know he won the fight. I think it was a split decision, but that was a good fight, going back and forth. It was a little slugfest in that fight. That fight's also on YouTube, and so is the Erich fight. Both of those fights for Zimnoch, both of those guys were having success against him. Even though he got Erich out of there and he stopped him, he was getting hit, Zimnoch, with some good right hands in that fight. He didn't change anything up. You know, he didn't change anything up since that Mollo loss. He still fights the same. Likes to come forward, throwing a jab. Likes to throw the straight right hand behind it. And when he really gets warmed up and comfortable, he likes to come, follow that up with the left hook. So that's one thing about Zimnoch that I can say. He didn't change anything up with his style. His defense looked a little bit better in comparison to that Mollo fight, his defense in the Erich fight. You could tell he was keeping that right hand up to avoid left hooks. But he was getting hit with some really good right hands against Erich. The Rakowski fight, he was getting hit with some good right hands. He got backed up against the ropes quite a few times. I think he's going to have just trouble dealing with Mollo's pressure. That's one thing about Mollo. He's going to bring pressure. It's how you deal with it. And Zimnoch's way of dealing with it is just fighting back. Sometimes he goes back in straight lines with his hands up. But he did a good job in the Rakowski fight. He was fighting off the ropes a little bit, but Mollo's a tank, man. He likes to come forward. He isn't the hardest puncher in the world, but he does put relentless pressure on. And I just think Zimnoch's just has trouble fighting pressure type guys, especially somebody like Mollo, and especially somebody that's coming in there that has beaten you before in the first round. Even their first fight, Zimnoch was the one coming out, putting pressure. He met Mollo head on for the most part, and a little bit of that first round, Mollo was the one that was, fighting going back a little bit, fighting off his back foot to some degree, because Zimnoch was putting a jab on him, trying to walk him down with the jab right hand combination. He was trying to chop Mollo down, and then he ended up getting caught with the left hook in the clinch. Now, we can't argue that Mollo did hit him when the ref was telling him to break, but it was just a little short chopping. It was like 2 left hooks he hit him with. They were short chopping hooks when they were in the clinch, and that hurt Zimnoch. His legs, you could tell his legs were kind of wobbling a little bit, and he never recovered from that, and Mollo seen it, and he jumped right back on him, and he sliced him with a right hand in the middle of exchange. Zimnoch goes down, he gets up, he got hit with another hook on the top of his head, and he went down again. He just never recovered, man. And it's either the left can hurt him or the right. Mollo hurt him with his left hand and his right hand. I think this fight's going to be the same. I don't see this fight going that many rounds. I say probably 2 or 3 rounds. I think Mollo's going to come in there and just put pressure on him again. I really do, man. And Zimnoch, it's not like he has a type of defense where he's going to be, untouchable, because he wants to come forward. His style will get him in trouble against somebody like Mollo because he also wants to come forward to initiate what he wants to do. So it's going to get him in trouble, man. I think Mollo has a tougher chin. I think he can bang, hit harder, and he's going to come to bang. And I think Mollo's not going to run away from it, man. I think, Mollo isn't he isn't coming in there and running around, and that's not his style, and I don't think he's going to back down from Mollo. And I think that's going to get him in trouble. I think he's going to get caught during an exchange, and he's going to go down, and he's going to get knocked out. I'm going to go with Mollo by knockout in this fight, based on just them having history. And it wasn't a fluke. He was getting heat. He just pretty much aired it out against Zimnoch, and he was landing. And Zimnoch is there to be hit because he likes to come forward also. So I didn't look at that first fight as a fluke. And even looking at Zimnoch's previous fights, just even his last 2 fights since the Mollo fight, he was there to get hit against Erich. I mean, Erich was landing some good right hands on him, man. he just couldn't hurt him. But I mean, solid ones too. And Rakowski had a lot of success in his fight with Zimnoch also, landing some good flurries and combinations. So I don't see any trouble that Mollo will have against Zimnoch. Even if Zimnoch is landing the jab right hand, I think Mollo will be able to take it, and he's gonna cross that line. I don't think Zimnoch's gonna be able to keep him on the end of that jab, man. I think Mollo's gonna get past the jab and he's gonna rough him up. So that's my little quick prediction on this fight. I think it'll be exciting while it lasts based on their styles, and Zimnoch likes to come forward also. But I see Mollo just beating him again. I'm going to go, my official prediction to be a third-round KO for Mollo. I'm going to go with Mollo in 3. I think Zimnoch finds a way to get past the first few rounds, but I think he's going to just get into exchanges, and I think he's going to get in trouble. I think he's going to get in trouble, get into an exchange, and I'm going to go with Mollo in this fight, man. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out.